name is Bertrand, and welcome to another episode of PowerEdge SounByte. Welcome back to the channel. Since the last time you've been on PowerEdge SounBytes, you've been up to a lot of different things. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. As some avid marketers might remember, I used to cover news around Dell's flagship line of PowerEdge servers. And recently I switched to learning about Dell's AI and ML portfolio. So I've been exploring the different AI and ML solutions that are built atop Dell's accelerated line of PowerEdge servers and integrated with innovative software from our partners like VMware, and H2O Driverless AI, which I recently did a video on.
Cool, awesome. Well, that gives me the perfect segue into today's topics, which is the XE product line or accelerated optimized product line. That product line was started in 15G with the XE 8545. And with 16G, that product line has significantly increased in the number of products. What can you tell us about the XE? What customer challenges are we trying to solve with those servers?
Definitely. So as I talked about last Tech Talk episode, not to plug my podcast too much, but we're in the golden age of ANML, right? But we've seen companies as they continue to adopt more challenging AI, ML, and HPC workloads, their data center operations are becoming more complex than ever before, while also taking more data than ever before and being expected to produce faster results than ever before, right? That's a lot of expectations.
Totally.
There, definitely. And we're really seeing them struggle with performance and scale limitations, especially in things like ingesting and querying real-time data series, which is almost a necessity these days. So companies are relying on server accelerators like GPUs to help them to take on these new demanding use cases. And that's exactly where the PowerEdge XE server portfolio comes in. These servers make it possible to actually reap the benefits of this golden age through a complete portfolio of GPUs, improved thermal design, and multiple cooling options, which I'm sure you're very excited about.
Yep.
And as always, intelligent system management for simplified operations, which is really great when it comes to ANML, because simplicity is a commodity these days, and Dell's here to provide that.
Cool. Can you walk us through that product line a little bit? The models that we have, what options do customers have in those products?
For sure. As we saw, Dell recently introduced the 3 new XE models, which are part of that portfolio we're talking about at the Supercomputing Conference in 2020. And it's been a buzz since because these are the first servers to be revealed with the new 4th generation Intel Xeon scalable processors, aka Sapphire Rapids. And although, we have a complete portfolio like many other servers in the Dell portfolio, these have been purpose-built with specific workloads in mind. So customers will surely find the right one for their needs. And I can just start quickly talking about the models and give an overview.
Go for it.
That's good. Sure. To start us off, let's look at the XE 8640. Our air-cooled server that's especially designed to help businesses develop, train, and deploy machine learning models to accelerate and automate data analysis. It comes in a 4U form factor and features 4 NVIDIA H100 XM GPUs and NVLink, and 2 of those 4th generation Intel Xeon processors we were just talking about. So it's really great for workloads that are, let's say medium data set language models, NLP, modeling and simulation, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, training and inferencing for things like image recognition. But let's say you're looking for a model that has the performance, but want greater rack density to save on things like space and cost. So the follow-up to that server would be the PowerEdge XE 9640. It's our 2U performance optimized 4 GPU PowerEdge server that combines Intel Xeon processors and Intel Data Center Max GPUs. So what's really cool is that it comes with fully direct liquid cooling and enables energy cost reduction through that up to around 3.1 times. I don't know why the 0.1 is very important, but yes, up to that with greater rack density utilization. So this is especially great for those who are trying to meet certain energy or sustainability requirements, and it's just in time for Earth Day. And these are ideal for workloads. Again, NLP, but in this case, it can handle larger models when it comes to large recommendation engine training, modeling, simulation, AI, machine learning, deep learning, training, or or things like object recognition. And then last but not least, we have the XE9680. So this is really exciting because it's Dell's first high performance 8 GPU server. And what's amazing that you can have 8 NVIDIA H100 or A100 Tensor Core SXM GPUs in an air-cooled design, along with 2 Intel Xeon processors. That's a lot of power in there to help deliver the maximum performance for AI workloads. So if you're looking for the ultimate machine for AI workloads, this is it. And ideal workloads are things like large language models, NLP again, and then large recommendation engine training, again, modeling simulation, and even for things like molecular dynamics and genomic sequencing. So if you want to, figure out where your data comes from, where your DNA comes from, it's available for that. And if you're interested in knowing more about the intended workloads and models, I can definitely provide some more, information in the link below.
For sure. 8 GPUs in one box. That's a lot of GPUs. What does that mean for customers? What are the tangible benefits that customer can reap by leveraging a box with 8 GPUs in them?
For sure. That's a really good question. Accelerator is a fitting term for GPUs, especially if you have 8 of them, as they do just that. They help speed up time to insights, and they allow you to take on larger scales of data, right? So this is crucial for things like AML, because let's say you're working on a thing like something for data analytics. It might require a few or several cores, but machine learning, typically requires around tens to hundreds to process data. And then finally, there might be workloads like training deep learning models that might require even hundreds to tens of thousands of cores. And using accelerators like GPUs that have many cores, then CPUs can help fulfill these requirements and improve performance. And obviously, different types of GPUs provide different performance improvements. So it depends on what 8 those are that you have. And I can go through different options if you would like.
Absolutely. I mean, the XE9680 can support both the H100 and the A100. For our viewers, what's the difference between those? What was the difference between those two? Why do we have the H100 and the A100?
Sure. And, if you're familiar with the A100, the H100 and the improvements will be easier to understand. It carries a lot of the major design focus that the A100 did, focused on, like strong scaling for AI and HPC workloads. But the H100 has substantial improvements in architectural efficiency. So you can have up to 30 times the performance of the A100. So yeah, I can talk a little bit more about that in specifics. When it comes to NVIDIA, we know that NVIDIA GPUs comes with 3 different types of processing cores, each with a specific purpose, and one of them being CUDA cores. NVIDIA calls its parallel processing platform CUDA, and their processing units as CUDA cores. So if you can imagine that, let's say you have A100 GPUs, and we take a scenario where you are trying to empty a water tank, right? If you had an A100 GPU, it would have around 6,912 CUDA cores. And if we take those as pipes trying to draw out water from that tank, you can imagine how fast that would go. But what if you had 3 times the number of pipes trying to empty those waters out? Well, that's what it's like having the H100. It has around up to 3 times, it has around over 3 times the number of CUDA cores. So instead of trying to empty a tank with 6,912 CUDA cores or pipes, the H100 has around 16,896 CUDA cores. So it can empty that water tank faster. It can help you get faster insights if you're trying to do an AML workload. And so, as you can see, like the H100 definitely does provide substantial improvements, and it's a good option to consider, especially if you also look at the benefit of the new NVLink switch system interconnect. So as NVIDIA said, NVLink is a high-speed connection for GPUs and CPUs, and it's the first proprietary system they've come out with as an interconnect technology, and it lets processors send and receive data from shared pools of memory at lightning speed. So if you, say, have 2 GPUs, it allows those multiple GPUs to communicate directly via the high-speed interconnection, and then the available memory of both GPUs can be bind and accessible at all times. So having that NVLink network, you can target some of the largest and most challenging computing workloads. ChatGPT is a big topic. So if you're trying to do something around generative technology, then, it's a really good option. In some cases, having the NVLink network along with the H100, it can triple the performance of the entire system. So this includes improved performance on workloads like HPC, AI inferencing, and training, as you see on the graph right here. So yeah, both are good options, but you can definitely see how NVIDIA has invested a lot into the H100 technology to provide improvements from the A100. And it really depends on what type of workload you're trying to tackle and the scale, right? So not everyone needs all those substantial improvements. If you can still definitely do a lot of the same workloads with the A100, but it just depends on what you're going for. Versus if you're needing something that's extreme large scale, then yeah, the H100 definitely provides those performance improvements that you're looking for.
That is super cool. I mean, for a nerd like me, this is like sweet music to my ears. I want to come back on something that you said earlier when you presented kind of the different models. We have some of those models are air cooled. Other models are liquid cooled. What was the reasoning behind having those two? How does that help our customer transition their data center from air cooling to liquid cooling?
Yeah, and that's a great question again. Just like simplicity and security, we know that flexibility is a huge key component when it comes to building the optimal infrastructure to support those ANML workloads that we're talking about. And all of these new servers include Dell Smart Cooling features, but as you said, we have options between air-cooled versus liquid-cooled. Both the XE9680 and the XE8640 have air-cooled designs for optimal performance and efficiency, versus the XE9640 is designed as a fully direct liquid cooled system. So if you're happy with your current cooling system, or you want to actually move to liquid cooling but just not quite yet, you have those options. If you want to opt for Dell's direct liquid cooling technology, which again can reduce your energy costs by up to 3.1 times, and you can benefit from the greater rack density utilization, you can do that too. So I can provide some more information on the benefits of the different cooling options if you're interested. I know you definitely have a few blogs on that on yourself, so I don't have to tell you twice about the importance of having the optimal cooling system. But for those interested out there who are nerds like us who want to learn more, then there's definitely more information we can provide.
And I think it's interesting that the 9680 allows us to harness the power of NVIDIA best GPU today in vast number, because we can put 8 of them, while still being air cooled. I think that's very interesting, because it allows our customers not to have to compromise performance versus cooling. They can get the best performance and stick with their current cooling technology. So I think that's super cool. I think that's a very interesting way that our portfolio is designed. So we've covered a lot of ground in a very short amount of time. So thank you for that. Any final thoughts?
Sure. Finding the right server is just the first step. And we also know that other GPU-enabled servers exist within our portfolio. And along with just besides the servers, if you're looking for a complete solution, we have that available as well. So we have the Dell validated solutions, where we take our, flagship hardware like the PowerEdge servers, and we work with other partners like VMware or H2O Drivers AI, and we create a fully validated solution that you can start with right away, without having to go through all the trial and errors of actually doing it yourself. So I can provide more links on that. And again, all of this is an effort to just actually allow us to make use of all the works that basically all the ANML engineers in the past have done. This is the golden age. It's time for us to actually make use of all the technologies out there instead of just letting it sit by. So yeah, definitely, if you want to get started, Dell's a great place, and it's very easy to get started, so we can provide links.
Cool. And I mean, thank you for the plug on the validated solution. I mean, as you mentioned, I think it's important to the servers obviously are the foundation of all of this. If we didn't have the right server, we wouldn't be able to handle the right workloads. So having the right server is obviously the first step, but then having those validated solutions is absolutely critical, because ultimately, it's what we do with those servers that counts versus the servers themselves. And having those validated solution decreases the time to market for our customers in order for them to install those solutions. So absolutely love it. We'll put a link to those validated solution in the description. And again, Nomuka, welcome back, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, and I couldn't have said it better myself. So yeah, please do check it out. Thanks.
Bye.